What's up YouTube? How you doing, guys? Digitech74 here. Today I just wanted to do a semi quick pickups video, some things that I've been adding to the collection since I showed the first video of the things that I've been collecting for video games and amiibos. So I did get a few things in the past month and a half. Some of those things probably will be on the video that I showed recently. But you know, some of the things are really nice and some are okay. But what I wanted to get to is that if you guys are getting into collecting for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, Wii U and Wii games, I think this is the perfect time to start getting those video games. And one of the reasons is mainly the prices. Like some of these games you can get now for really dirt cheap, like a $2 games and stuff. Part of these video games that I'm getting, I collect basically for almost every system, because there is some things that I don't have, but I collect for retro games and I collect for like the newer systems too. So you know, it's a little bit of mixed bag of things that I have here. So alright, so let's just get started here. Obviously Gears of War, I got this series. I got all the games here. Gears of War 2 is here. This is one of my first games I played for the Gears of War series and I really loved it. Then I played Gears of War, the first one. I haven't been able to play this one yet. I heard this is a really good game in the series, Gears of War 3. I don't know yet, I haven't played it. You guys let me know in the comments down below if you have played this game. Also got Gears of War Judgment. I don't know if you guys can see it over here, but and the prices that you see on the stickers are, some of them are the prices that I got them for, but this basically was like around $20 for all this, so that's awesome. For the PlayStation 3, I have a few games here that well, I'm missing one from the Xbox 360. I managed to get this game, and that is Shadows of the Damned. This game, it's awesome. It's a really nice game, and the best part of it was the price. When I found out it was about $6 or something like that, I just had to run to the GameStop near me. Unfortunately, of course they didn't have it there, but I tracked the game down and I was able to get it from another GameStop, so that was pretty good. One thing I want to mention, I don't know, I got the feeling that this game and what is the other game I wanted to show? This game here, these two are like gonna be collectibles. They're gonna go in high in price. They're gonna be like really pricey a few years from now. I just think that that's what may happen with these games. That's one of the reasons that I'm trying to get those games here. For the PlayStation 3, I got Heavenly Sword. Then I got this World 2 game, which I'm into all these aircrafts and battles and stuff. This game actually has a little bit over 50 missions, and I think it says it here. It says, well, it says somewhere engage in over 50 death-defying missions, which is great. You actually, when you start the game, you start in training, and you get to know all the controls and all the maneuvers, everything that you can actually do on this game. So it's a pretty decent game, and again, look at the prices. And this is another thing I wanted to get to. When you collect games, I really don't try to pre-order much as I used to. One of the reasons is because, well, I mean, who has $65 or, you know, $50+ to get a game nowadays? To me, that's a little bit too pricey. But when I go to GameStop, I look for things like this. Sometimes, I don't know, if you don't get the emails, or if you're not a pro member, sometimes you won't know about this. So they basically have a list of games right now, and you get 4 games for $20. So this is great. I know you guys probably won't be able to read this, but the highlighted thing with a marker shows like the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 games, which at the moment I think is a bunch of sports titles, which is fine. You know, I know some people listen to sports games, but this is good. This is good for me. 4 games for $20 anytime. And that's the type of deals I look for when I'm getting my games, you know. The cheaper the better, right? Okay, let's move on now. Here, let's start with the Nintendo Selects. As you guys probably know, Nintendo dropped the prices on some of their big titles. And, well, that's how I managed to get the Donkey Kong Country for the Wii. Then Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Great game, by the way. I've been playing this game with my daughter, and I gotta say, Donkey Kong Country, it's a fun game and everything, but after the first levels, like World 1, World 2, it gets really difficult. It gets really challenging, so that's one thing you have to keep in consideration with those platform games. Pikmin 3. This game was super expensive, and then they came out with the Nintendo Selects, and then for $19 I think it's worth getting it. I got the Zombie U. I don't think this game gets that much love, but yeah, I think it's worth having it. This is worth having in the collection. Bayonetta 2. When Nintendo announced that Bayonetta was coming to the amiibo roster in Super Smash Brothers, everybody went crazy trying to get this game, right? Do you guys know that Bayonetta 2, when it was first released, it had the first game in it, so it was the first game and the second game, and it wasn't bad. It was like maybe $28, $27. And I keep saying to myself, oh well, yeah, I'll get this game whenever I get a chance. I'll just keep waiting. Then they announced Bayonetta. I couldn't find the game in any of the GameStops, so I just settled for getting just the regular Bayonetta game, and then I just went and got this one for the PlayStation 3, and now I have the first game and the second one. I don't think that it makes much of a difference if it's on PlayStation 3 or Wii U, so that's okay. And this one is the story that I always like to tell, because this one was a super cheap bargain. I went to a thrift store and I found a loose disc, and it was probably around 75 cents. I got this with I bought a record, I bought a vinyl, this and another game, and it was like altogether $1.50. So then what I did is I just went to a GameStop and told one of the managers that I needed to get the case, and if I could like buy it, or you know, get it from him if I buy all the games. But he was nice enough to give me the case. So now I completed that, and I'm very happy about that. So now we're going a little bit more kind of like on the retro side of things here. Well, this controller obviously is not, is for the PlayStation 2. I believe the company that made this was Hyperking. And it was cheap and everything. I needed an extra controller for my PlayStation 2 Slim. And I gotta say, if it was like $10 or $15, and the controller is okay. I don't know if I have to break it in, if it's just, the buttons are like very springy, like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite as like the original is. And obviously if you're buying controllers from a third party company, sometimes you can expect to be exactly the same as a controller that Sony will make. But I think it does the job, it's okay. And I like the color too, so I think that was pretty good. This was a game that I've been looking for a long time, since I really like the Sniper Elite series. The first one that I played was, I'll tell you right now, Sniper Elite. Like the first game I played was for the 360, and I remember playing the game, and it was like, okay, there was a little introduction and you going with the sniper and stuff, and it's like they showing you a little tutorial what to do and the controllers and everything, and I thought it was okay. I gave it a break, didn't make much of it. Then I came back to it a couple of months later and I got into it a little more in depth. I started really going with the mechanics, the shooting, and how the X-cam shows the bullet and everything going through the flesh. And I gotta say, I got really addicted to the game. It's really amazing. And ever since, I wanted to have all the games in the series. And I managed to get the third one for the PlayStation 4. But I wanted to have the very first game that came out. And I managed to find this at a retro gaming store here in Long Island, which they're great, by the way. If you're in Long Island, you gotta go to a video game trading post. They have an amazing selection of games there, and the owner and everybody who works there, they're very knowledgeable, they're really cool, and most likely you will find what you're looking for there. And if you don't, you can leave them your name and number, and they will call you and say, hey, listen, we got the game that you were looking for. So yeah, I recommend that place. Alright guys, so that's another game I got from there, the Street Fighter Anthology. I don't know if you see in my other videos, I really like Street Fighter. I'm not particularly good with the newer Street Fighter games, but I'm more on the old school side, and I just wanted to try this, give this one a try, and it's pretty good actually. Having all the Street Fighter games in one disc, I think that's really awesome. Quick story here, my wife likes to collect vinyls and stuff, and she goes to estate sales here in Long Island. I stopped doing that because I get a little bit too anxious and too, I don't know, it's stressful for me to go to doing garage sales and doing estate sales, knowing that probably the guy in front of me is thinking and doing the exact same thing that I'm doing. And I remember going to a couple of those, and I saw a guy basically walking out with a box full of games. It was like, you name it, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, NES, controllers, and my jaw just dropped. I was like, okay, that's nice. I hope you left something there. And I actually found a couple of things. I should have just go and grab those things. I did find something good over there. I found a controller for Super Nintendo, Game Gear. What else? There was a few things, nothing really crazy. The Game Gear didn't work. I turned it on, I put the batteries on and everything, the screen was shot, probably the caps were gone, so that's okay. So after that I kind of stopped going to estate sales and everything, because it's just not, for me it's not worth the aggravation of, you know, seeing that. My wife still does that, and well, she got a little bit more lucky than me. She managed to get one of those, which is the Game Boy Color, and it came with one of those shock and rock things that basically enhances the sound, and it gives you a better grip of the game. And surprisingly, this thing still works. Oh, I don't have the game on, but here we go. Let's just do a quick demo here on this. You probably won't be able to see it or hear it, but here it is. It has Kirby's Dream Land. I don't know if I tilt it like this, you may be able to hear it. So this is pretty good, this stuff like that. Oh, there we go. There it is. You can hear the sound now. And yeah, she managed to get this in a Resident Evil game. So yeah, that's that. This one, actually, I'll show that later. She also managed to get this Resident Evil, and I couldn't believe it. This is like in perfect condition. It's like they just opened the game and that they never played it. So I was very happy when she brought this home. I think she got more patient than I do. What else? I have here the another Street Fighter game, of course, and I wanted to get to the Street Fighter things. Here is the game. I just get a universal case for my Super Nintendo games and my Nintendo games. I do like to have the manual, because I think it's good to know how to use your fighters, right? And that's what I do with that. These are the universal cases, and you can get them really cheap and then all you have to do is print your game covers. So that's the game you're seeing right now, Turtles in Time, in the background. So that's the new Street Fighter game for me that I'm playing right now on my Super NES. It's really fun. They really balance the characters really well now. Okay, what else we have here? Got a few Game Boy games for my Game Boy Color. Well, this one came with the Game Boy Color that I just showed, and that's Kirby's Dream Land. Really fun game. Also came with Super Mario Deluxe right over here. This is a hard game. Super Mario Land 2. This is an awesome game. I love this game. I found this at a flea market here in Long Island. Got it for a nice price too. And what else we have here? What am I going to show next? Let's talk a little bit about the amiibos. As you guys probably know and you've seen in the previous videos, I like to collect the amiibos, and it's fun. I am not gonna say it's not. I really like the amiibos. It got to a point where it was difficult to get them, and sometimes I would like just go and buy them for a little bit a higher price than what they really were, and it's totally, the fever has just totally gone down. Like, people don't buy the amiibos, they don't wait online as they used to, and I guess it's just the way it is. In the beginning I didn't want to get the Animal Crossing amiibos because I just didn't want to spend the money on those, but now I've been going to GameStop and I've been finding these little fellas pre-owned, so they're a lot cheaper than what they were before. So this is a good way to do it. I believe we have Cyrus here from Animal Crossing, and then this one is Reese. I believe these are alpacas or llamas. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, this is the way I've been getting some of the amiibos. It's just cheaper, it's easier. What else do we have here? I got this on Amazon, and this is the Wii to HDMI converter, and what basically does is it lets you connect your Wii to your HD TV. When you buy stuff like this online, you may see something that says Wii to HDMI converter. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, but it will say that, and then it will say 1080p on the box. You're not gonna get 1080p for your regular Wii on your flat screen TV, since your Wii only does 480i and 480p. Your image, however, your image is gonna look very nice on the screen. And if you already have component cables for your Wii, I don't think this is gonna make much of a difference. If you have composite cable, which is just the yellow cable and the audio, you're gonna see a very big difference on image. So I do recommend this. I heard really bad reviews about this thing. Some people say that the image looks terrible, some say that this thing doesn't even work sometimes. I heard complaints about the audio. I heard complaints about when you connect this little device in the back of your Wii. Let me see if I can just open this one really quick and show you, since I got two. Well, here it is. When you connect this in the back of your Wii, it gets really hot. That's what one of the users was saying. Bad audio, bad image, and it just wasn't working properly. You know what? I didn't experience any of those complaints, and that's the reason I actually got two, because, you know, I bought it from like a Chinese website and stuff. So if you see something that says 1080p, just don't believe it. You're just gonna get the 480p. And one important thing, when you connect this to your Wii, make sure you go into settings previously to installing this and put it on 480p. I believe that's what you have to do. Then obviously you turn it off, you put your HDMI cable into the end and connect it to your TV, and it should just be perfect. Okay, I also ordered these videos. Some of you are gonna be very familiar with this. These are the Game Chasers series here. This is the very first one. They just came out with this cover. I don't know if the features are different from the first DVD that they just made, but the cover was different and they reissue this, so I guess everything goes more like aesthetically it looks like the same design that they had on the other DVDs that they released. This one is one of my favorite. Here's the Contra one. This one has 4 discs and stuff. Well, actually I didn't get the bonus disc, so it's only 3. Game Chasers was one of the first channels that I started following, and it was very inspiring to, you know, go with the collecting games and everything. And then I got this one like a few weeks ago too. So as you can see, this is the Streets of Rage theme. The previous one was Contra, and this one I will probably say is something like Double Dragon sort of theme, or you know, any other fighting game like from the 8-bit era. Yeah, I could probably say this Double Dragon, and this is pretty good too. This is really quality stuff that these guys put out. This is really inspiring. Besides watching the Game Chasers, I also like to follow Metal Jesus Rocks. I really love his videos. He has really good stuff in this channel too. So okay, what else do we have here? Genesis. I own a Sega Genesis previously to this one. I probably own like 4 of these Sega Genesis, because like I always said in my videos, I end up buying systems and then I keep selling them and then rebuying again. It's just a craziness, you know, when you trying to get new games and new things. So my Sega Genesis was in pretty good shape. I picked it up from a garage sale when I was actually doing the garage sale stuff. Got it right for $30. It came with a bunch of games. It was like 3-4 games and everything. But every time I turned on my Genesis, the audio was distorted. It was just not working properly. And one thing that I noticed is that when you play in Streets of Rage, you know, the amazing soundtrack that the Streets of Rage series have, it just sounded like garbage. It sounded so garbled. It sounded terrible, and I couldn't stand to play the game like that anymore. I just said, you know what, I gotta get me a new Genesis, or at least a Genesis that has a good sound. So I contacted a person who is really good at restoring and fixing consoles and all related things to retro games. And I actually just swapped the old Genesis and gave him some money, and he gave me this Genesis, which it's just the sound and everything is working properly, and that's the way you should have a system, you know, working properly, not with issues. I forgot to mention that the sound actually on the older Genesis will fix itself after like 20 minutes. Like, I guess after the components get hot inside the motherboard or something, just the sound was coming back to normal, but you had to play like for 20 minutes for it to make the sound work properly. So that was crazy. And the last purchase I did was this a Mega Drive thing, which is like a EverDrive clone. And the reason I got this is because I do have a bunch, and I do have a bunch of Sega Genesis games, but it's easier just to play the backup of the game instead of switching cartridges over and over. And well, you will probably understand this from a collector's point of view. If you have kids and you have friends that come over and they just start opening the clams, these clamshells, like, you know, like this, and they're just looking at things, and you know, I'd really rather not to handle these things, just to play with this as the least as possible, so that it won't get damaged, even though they used to make these things like so well that they just, I guess they stand the test of time. But when you have kids, it's better to have a backup. And yeah, well, that's it. That's all the things that I picked up this for the past 2 months maybe, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions, please just comment down below. And also, you know, I'm interested to know if what are you guys interested in terms of videos. What do you guys like to watch in a YouTube channel that is dedicated to video games? Do you guys like to watch gameplay? Do you guys like to watch pickup videos, or just talking about the games? Just let me know down below. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy making it. And this is Digitech 74. Have a great day, guys. Bye.